Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whatever the I Want podcast, where I, your host, Gabby, gets to talk about whatever the I want. And today's episode is going to be about waking up and trying your best. So I want to start off this episode by saying that I am sick. I have now been sick for about 3 days, and I just started taking medicine last night. And so this is me showing up and doing my best with what I can today. This is the energy that I have today. And I had to not necessarily push myself to do this episode, but I had to collect the energy to be able to do it. And I know that after this episode, I'm going to have to rest. So I want to start off with the journal entry that I wrote this morning. Friday, February 7th, 2025, 10:03 a.m. Yesterday, I didn't end up going to the gym. My energy levels weren't there, and I don't feel them high today. I know I need to rest. What does rest look like to me? Yesterday, I managed to have the energy to cook, to tend to the plants, to shower, to cut my hair, to talk to a friend, to build a Lego set, and to edit and post a TikTok. Oh, and I did yoga and an indoor walk. Rest looks a little different nowadays. I know when I can push myself, and I can tell when I'm being lazy or complacent. So I had levels. I had different time frames yesterday where I was just scrolling. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have the energy to do anything else but lay in bed. And then I'd be like, but Gabby, you shouldn't be scrolling. It's not good for your brain. And then I was having this internal conflict of what is rest even? What is it? I don't know what rest is, because to me, I've just been on the go for so long that I don't know what rest looks like. And so I was talking to one of my friends, and I'm like, but what is rest? And, they were like, why don't you draw? Why don't you, edit? I don't know. What does rest look like to you? I can't answer that for you. You have to answer that. And I think where I felt like I truly rested was whenever I was building a Lego set and watching Miss Congeniality. I think I felt so much better watching a movie versus scrolling on my phone. I think it's because of the blue light being so close to my face, or I don't know if it's just the 10-15 seconds of dopamine that you get, that is what made me feel even worse. It just kind of felt like I felt like I was rotting, and I wasn't conserving my energy. And I have found that whenever I am sick, or even on an ordinary day, there are moments where I feel more productive than others. There are moments where I have more energy than others. And I used to ignore those moments. I used to be like, oh, I should really get up and do this. And then I would just not do it at all. But now I'm starting to realize when I do have, that little bit of energy, to use it. And so I haven't done all these things in a row, but it would be sit for 30 minutes and then get up and do something. And I was like, I want to do something to make me feel better. I want to feel better about myself. So I took a shower, and then I ended up cutting my hair. And I was like, oh, why don't I film a TikTok about that? I was asking the universe for just some energy to still create something. And I still ended up doing that, which was really good. Just with energy that I did have. So sorry about my voice. Sorry if you hear sniffles. I'm just showing up today, and that's what it's about. It's about showing up. So there are a few other things that I want to share with you all. And one is a reading that I had for today in the Simple Abundance book. And then another one is a text that I got from my friend. So for today's reading, it said, most of us feel more secure when we play it safe. We wear a string of pearls, for example, instead of the hand-painted glass beads we glimpsed and passed up at the crafts fair. Yet it is precisely those red and purple glass beads around the neck of another woman that stop us dead in our tracks. Wow, we mumble as we pass around the street. That looks fantastic. We also wonder how she knew it would. She probably didn't. She probably just took a leap in the dark and trusted her instincts. She trusted her own sense of style. The necklace whispered, "Try me," and she listened. She played at living in a small way, to be sure, but relevant all at the same time, by taking a chance. Every day we're given chances to embrace the new. It could be serving focaccia at dinner tonight instead of garlic bread. It could be choosing a pair of floral socks that make our feet want to dance instead of the plain pair we automatically reach for. It could be trading in the headband for a short, sleek, sophisticated cut that really feels right. Psychologist Susan Jeffers suggests
We take a risk a day, one small or bold stroke that makes you feel great once you've done it. Today, take a real risk that can change your life. Start thinking of yourself as an artist and your life as a work in progress. Works in progress are never perfect, but changes can be made to the rough draft during rewrites. Another color can be added to the canvas. The film can be tightened during editing. Art evolves, so does life. Art is never stagnant. Neither is life. The beautiful, authentic life you are creating for yourself and those you love is your art. It is the highest art. Since you are like bro, I'm out of breath. I have one last sentence. I'm gonna have to take a big chug of water after this. Since you are like no other being ever created since the beginning of time, you are incomparable. Writer Brenda Euland reminds you. Hold that thought. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna drink some water because that that took a lot out of me. So if you have water, I suggest let's take a little water break. I love water. So yummy. Okay. So when I was reading that today, it really reminded me just to show up every single day. And it's not going to be perfect. Every day is going to look different. My 100% yesterday is not the same as today as it was a week ago. I was really upset that I couldn't go to the gym. I was like, oh, it's shoulder day. I've been really loving a good push day. And then today was glutes. And I'm like, I just don't feel like if I were to go to the gym, like I'd spend all my energy getting ready to go to the gym versus the workout. And it's like, what good does that do? I was also supposed to hang out with a friend today, and I knew that it was going to take a lot out of me to physically get ready and to go hang out with somebody. And so I'm like, I can't, like, I know that I don't have it in me. So like, it's okay to like cancel plans. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to like listen to your body. And I strongly encourage you to be listening to your body, but to also understand when you're being lazy versus when you are like actually tired. Because I used to confuse it all, and I used to just think that, oh, I'm just so tired. But in reality, it was just me being lazy. So that's why I was like, you know what, let me just show up for the video, because like it's about just showing up. Like, I'm trying my best. I don't necessarily feel 100%, but I'm not going to feel 100% every day. And I know that you're not going to as well. So whenever I'm feeling fantastic and I am going to the gym, every single workout isn't the same, especially if I'm on my period or if I'm just feeling lethargic, if I didn't get enough sleep the night before. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to show up. And so like today, showing up is just going to look a little bit different than it did yesterday. Yesterday I was able to do yoga, but I wasn't till the end of the night. Normally I work out as soon as I wake up, and I did my little indoor walk. And no, I don't use a walking pad. I don't have any fancy equipment. I literally just walk in place. If I'm not going to the gym, I just literally walk in place. Like, it does the same thing. You don't need all this fancy stuff to like convince you that you're going to start. I remember people telling me like, oh, you don't need all this nice equipment whenever you start streaming, whenever you start content creation. And I used to think like, no, I need that equipment. Like, that equipment will motivate me to do it. And that's so not true. You need to build the habit first. You need to figure out your why. And then you can start investing into these things if you're actually using it. But I used to be like a all in or completely out type of person. And I still feel like I am like that in a lot of ways, but I think I'm starting to realize like it's okay to be seen trying. It's okay to not have all the glitz and glamour. That's not what makes good content. You know what I mean? Like, you can watch somebody who has the nicest camera in the entire world, but if they're not entertaining, you're not going to watch them. You can have somebody who is a Nepo baby who has a Netflix comedy special, but if they're just not a funny person, no one's going to be receptive to what they have to say. No one's going to think that their content is funny. It takes like talent and the desire to want to do better, to be better, and the passion for people to be receptive to these things. And so I've gotten over that block of like, things don't need to be perfect and I will only get better with time. I really believe, like, you know how they say people age like fine wine. I truly believe that that's what happens. I think the older you get, the wiser you get, the more experience you have under your belt, the more that you understand just life. I think you have a better grasp at it. And the more that you realize how to be kinder to yourself, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who can be really hard on myself. It's something that I'm actively working on. And, you know, even yesterday, I'm like, oh, I'm scrolling. Like, I don't like this. And so I'm like, something had to change. And so that was like, even just, okay, I'm going to watch The Mindy Project, which is a super funny show. It's one of my comfort shows. But I'll watch The Mindy Project while I'm walking in place versus like just scrolling on my phone. And then I also downloaded another brain game because I'm like, let me just do that instead. It's like a kind of like a Where's Waldo situation where you try to find things. Do y'all remember those? What were those magazines called when we were kids? They were like of a little frog. Were they called Highlights or something? And I used to do them like at the doctor's office, and you'd like find hidden things, and they had like little brain games in there. Anywho, I'm also going to read to y'all a text that my friend sent me this morning. And this is also a reminder that you are the company you keep, because I only actively talk to like one of my friends every single day. And this is somebody who constantly inspires me, somebody who that I co-work with a lot, and somebody who is really there for me. I think that we sometimes confuse friendships, you know, people who are there who just want to gossip and who really only want to know about your life, or who are there for Instagram pictures and stuff, versus people who are actually there to build connections and who are there to help you grow. And so surround yourself with people who make you feel good. Surround yourself with people who motivate you. Surround yourself with people who have similar dreams and goals to you, and y'all will grow together, versus surrounding yourself with people who don't really pour into you, and eventually you're just going to end up growing apart. Anywho, so this is what they sent me. It's from a book. So it says, being brave is not always something you feel. It's something you do. You do it in the face of fear and unknown outcomes and risk you don't really want to take. You do it when your enemy is staring you down with taunting statements of defeat. You do it not to prove there's something great inside you. You do it because if you don't, something will die inside you. I love that, because whenever you're not doing what your heart is set to do, you are neglecting, you are starving that part of you that wants those things. Me waiting years to create this podcast was me saying fuck you to myself. It was saying like, I don't believe in you. Like, your dreams are trash. No one cares. And it was me unknowingly putting myself down. Like, I was not capable of doing these things. And so it took healing a lot of those wounds to really realize like, no, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And this next part is also going to make sense. This is another part of the screenshot. You do brave things because it's time to rise up and speak up and let the truth find its freedom with your voice. What happened was wrong. Acknowledge it, speak it, cry over it, but don't die over it. You've been hurt, but you don't have to live hurt. You do brave things because you are made to connect, not with all people, but with the right people. Take the right risk, take it slow, but don't stop, don't withdraw, don't disappear. You'll do brave things until you become brave. You'll know love again. You'll know laughter again. You'll know deep in your bones that you won't waste all that you've learned. Those spilled tears, every one of them, helped you let go of the pain to make room for possibility. Don't wait until you feel brave. Go be brave. And I think that's something I've had to learn a lot the older I've gotten, is that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody's experience with me is going to be like, oh my gosh, Gabby's the funniest person I know. She's so fun. She's so outgoing. Not everybody knows that version of me. You know, there's a lot of times where I'm in a room where I don't know people and I'm just a little bit more quiet, more reserved. I'm observing. And I think it's a huge part of knowing that, like, how can somebody compare 15 minutes of knowing you versus somebody who's known you for like 20 years? You know, like, that's a completely different experience. Somebody who's seen you at your lowest points versus people who have only seen you at your happiest. Like, it's not the same experience. And so I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's about knowing that the right people, the people who are meant to connect with me, will connect with me. I'm not going to sit here and worry about what everybody else thinks, because it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. What matters is what I think. And what I think is that I am awesome and that I am making a difference in people's lives. And so this is just my reminder to you to just try your best. Every day is not the same. It really isn't. And this is me showing up while I'm sick. I was like getting ready, and honestly, I feel much better now that I've been filming. I don't know if it's because I'm just like letting stuff out or just like processing things, but I feel like I spent so much time just scraping by, like waking up and kind of trying. And now I feel like I really am doing my best. Like I am showing up and going to the gym whenever I do have the energy, and I am giving those workouts my all. And sometimes I am, lifting way more weights. And then other times I realize like, oh, I'm lifting 20 pounds less than I was last week. But it's like, oh, well, I was on my period. Well, I didn't sleep that well. Oh, well, I wasn't as hydrated. Oh, maybe I ate before my workout. Like there's so many variables to these things, but it's about not comparing yourself to who you were the day before. Because first of all, you are your only competition. Like I'm not going to sit here and worry about what this person's doing, what that person's doing. What matters is what I'm doing. I'm so tunnel vision focused on myself that I'm not going to sit here and worry about everybody else. And on top of that, I cannot sit here and compare myself to myself. Like I am not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago, and I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly growing. And so is technology. And, like maybe my best now will look completely different with the involvement with AI, even in terms of like video editing, all that stuff. Maybe my life will be a little bit easier. Maybe my 100% will look a little bit different in 5 years from now. Maybe, I don't even know. I can't even imagine how technology is going to advance in the next 5 years. So I'm not even going to open up that can of worms. And I have like sick brain, so I can't even process what I've just said for the past 5 minutes. But anywho, I just want you all to know that wake up, try your best. It's all that you can do, and drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. And I know that it's whenever we're sick that we appreciate our health, because, you wake up and then you're like, wow, I really miss what it's like to be able to breathe as soon as I wake up. So if you are sick, I'm wishing you a quick recovery, and please rest. And if you are healthy, be grateful for your healthy body. And I hope that you will have a fantastic day. Don't forget to leave this podcast a review and comment down below what are some ways that you've showed up and tried your best today. Catch you in the next one.